I want to give a huge thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Therapy isn't something to run away from, it's a vessel to run towards. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and it's 100% online, so break out your comfies. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time. Anytime. And schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. No more fumbling to get a session on the calendar. You schedule based on when the time is right for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. Therapy changed my life for the better. Pun intended. And with BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Rocky. That's betterhelp.com/Rocky. When I feel like life is moving too fast, I always check in with the Billboard Top 10 to see where I'm at on my pop culture radar. Sometimes I have no clue what's trending, and sometimes I know like at least 7 of the songs. And that's good because music moves fast these days. I have a lot of opinions about the songs in the top 10 this week. And for the ones I don't have opinions on, I'm going to tell you what I think they're about. Coming in at number 10 is Dua Lipa, Dance the Night. This song is made iconic because it was featured in the Barbie movie, which sadly is kind of hitting its end of the run summer spiral. Nobody's talking about Barbie like they were, and I liked life better when we were talking about Barbie all the time. This song is great for wedding season. I'm not attending any fall or winter weddings as of yet. But to everyone who does get to enjoy a dance floor at a fall wedding this year, enjoy dancing to Dua Lipa, Dance the Night, in the year of our Lord and Savior Barbie. At number 9, we have Calm Down by Selena Gomez and Rema. This song has been on the charts for a while. This song is so versatile because it has the vibe of an island. It has the vibe of a dark club, think Beyonce Baby Boy music video. And it also has the vibe of infrared light, incense burning, people at your house really late, later than they expect, but we're still having a time. I'm happy that the song is at number 9, and I hope it kind of stays on the charts for the rest of the year because Calm Down is doing its thing. And to be honest with you, many people need to calm down. At number 8, we have Fuck You Mean by Gunna. At least I think that's how you say it. I don't think I've heard this song. And honestly, I want to give them 2 snaps because they got away with saying fuck in the title of the song on the Billboard charts. Although I don't know what the song is about at all, I do have a feeling it's the complete opposite of Calm Down. At number 7, we have Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo. I'll tell you what, and I say this with love because she got me through a lot. Mandy Moore was the album I was bumping when I was 17. And it was a great album. And I'm not talking about her first album with Candy on it. I'm talking about her second one, the one with Pennies in My Pocket. But in terms of getting your emotions out as a millennial teenager, I don't think we got there. I think we were just scratching the surface, and that's not any of our faults, and it's especially not Mandy's fault. She did what she could with the tools that she had. But if I had Olivia Rodrigo at 17, I bet these 17-year-olds who are listening to Olivia Rodrigo right now are bouncing off the walls of their bedrooms. How could you not be? I'm just really rooting for Olivia Rodrigo to keep growing and keep making dope-ass music. Because, girl, the women in their 30s feel it too. At number 6 is Morgan Wallen with Last Night. Now look, I haven't listened to Morgan Wallen since I heard he said the N-word. I'm just not going to feed his Spotify machine, you dig? But I'm sure a bunch of people love him because he's at number 6 this week, as of last night. Coming in at number 5 is I Remember Everything by Zach Bryan featuring Casey Musgraves. I dig Casey Musgraves. You know when you can't think of how a song goes, but you kind of like hear it in your head? But I think an old song of hers goes something like, "High horse, look at you on your high horse." I don't know if that beat is right, but I really like that song. It does seem like country is really, really making its way on the Billboard Top 10, which is great. Country music gets a bad rap, and a lot of the time all country music is rock and roll with a twang. Happy to see it's doing its thing. We know Taylor Swift is coming in at number 4. What's crazy? That she is still on the Billboard chart with Cruel Summer in the fall from an album that she didn't even release this year. Everything's crazy about that. The collective consciousness said, hey, world, you didn't spend enough time giving this song its flowers, so we're going to pull it out of the ground and pass it around to everyone. Cruel Summer rules. It's no delicate, and nothing ever will be. But I won't bump Cruel Summer just in the summer. I'll bump it winter, spring, or fall. Number 3 is so interesting to me. Fast Car by Luke Combs. Great song. You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who disagrees. But isn't it interesting? Movies that we repackage, songs that we repackage. Everything old is new again. I do like that this song is number 3 because it just shows you that many people can wear the same coat. And it can look good on different people for different reasons. Go off, Luke Combs. Number 2 with Snooze is SZA. This woman makes the most melodic songs I've ever heard. Banger after banger with minimal movement to your body necessary. Whatever dimension, whatever flow, whatever universal channel SZA is on, I want to be on it. And I love the juxtaposition of going from Kill Bill to Snooze. I mean, polar opposite songs in terms of what they're about, yet both equally vibradocious. And at number 1, Paint the Town Red by Doja Cat. No arguments here. Why do we like this song? This song reminds me of Partition by Beyonce. It's a little bit sexy, it's a little bit dark. When I'm listening to this song and walking down the street, I'm like, yeah, I am the fucking devil. I'm a bad little bitch. I'm a rebel. And it will take a whole lot for me to settle. And I bet you there are a lot of people that feel that way when they listen to this song. So Doja Cat, go the fuck off with your number 1 spot and continue to paint the town red. Because it's a party, baby. And we're all invited. Duh. Welcome to the Rocky Rundown, where you get to learn a little bit about my week. Party God Squad, hello! Did you have a good week? If you're up in the Northeast with me, then I bet you are feeling that crisp, baby. Me, not a fan of global warming. In fact, I hate it. But I'd be lying if I said I like the cold, and guess what? I think the cold is here. When I have to stop using my AC, I know. Winter is not only coming, she is edging herself, baby, and the torture is real. One of the cool things about living in New York City when it's warm is if you're out, you don't always feel the urgency to go home. Yeah, I'll go to another bar. Sure, let's do karaoke in Koreatown at 2:30 in the morning. The party starts at 10? No problem. It's warm out, baby. But when it starts to get cold, only the real party animals, only the real wild children, they're the ones that want to stay out. And it's really tough for us because it's so cold. The other night I had an amazing girls' night, which turned co-ed. Couldn't be better. How we found this tiki bar with corner seats, great lighting, perfectly leveled music, and delicious cocktails at 10:30 on a Friday night is beyond me. But we found it, baby. Well, that sounds like a scam. That sounds like a rub. Me and my girlfriends got into our conversation, and then gracing the stage, a pianist. He was taking song requests at full volume right behind us. Now, this is not a problem. Go the fuck off, King. Make your money and do your thing. It was just a problem because we wanted to chat. By the time our other friends got there, he was knee-deep in his piano set, so the fraternizing was at a minimum. The only thing to do was scream in each other's ears, drink drinks, and eat tater tots. By the time we finished up our last round, it was time for a street smoke. God, one of my favorite things to do is a street smoke. Huddled with friends on the streets of New York City, smoking a fat J and laughing. The only problem with the street smoke is you can't control who comes up to you. And people in New York City have the absolute audacity. That's what makes New York, New York. Frank Sinatra didn't say that in the song, but he definitely inferred. And because of the audacity of some of my fellow New Yorkers, they'll come up to your smoke circle and say things like, "Excuse me, do you have $25? I'd like to buy a plunger. If you don't have $25, I also like weed." And that's great, bro. I like weed too. And there's a version of me that would also walk by people in the streets, smell their weed circle way before it was legal, and they'd give a puff to a passing stranger. And I'd gladly take that puff, because that's our weed culture. Puff, puff, pass. But in 2023, in a post-quarantine world, you're not smoking our weed, bro. My first thought isn't even, oh, he might have COVID. My first thought is, what if he ate an ass today? What if he ate an ass and he hasn't had enough water and he didn't brush his teeth? Even if I wanted to be a good weed-smoking Samaritan and say, "Hey man, you have our last couple puffs. I don't want to share with you right now in case you ate an ass today, but I would love to give you the last couple puffs." How's that sound? Even if I did that, that would mean he'd still be standing in our small circle, a stranger looking for a plunger who might have eaten an ass today. I'm just not with the shits, literally. Me and my friends walked around the corner and posted up at another corner so we could smoke our end of the night joint and have our wind down. We did see the plunger guy walk by. And you know what? I really hope he found that plunger. But walking through the rest of Times Square, yes, we were on the outskirts of Times Square, and I gotta tell you, it was like walking through a motherfucking funhouse. Yeah, real scary stuff. They opened up all these new fast food restaurants. It honestly seemed brighter than ever. And walking through it, I felt like I was in the scene from Knocked Up when Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd take mushrooms and they go to Cirque du Soleil. That's what walking through Times Square at almost 1 a.m. felt like. Get me the fuck out of here. But I was with a group of friends, and it feels safe, and you're walking through, and even though people are almost bumping into you, Times Square inhibitors screaming, "You dropped something, you dropped something," like we're tourists gonna fall for it. Tourists listening to this, if someone screams, "You dropped something, you dropped something," the odds are you probably didn't drop something. Take stock of what you got and keep it moving. Do not engage, do not turn around, you've been warned. As we make our way down to the subway, all of us going back to the same neighborhood, I hear loud as day that song from Free Willy that Michael Jackson sang. You know the one. "Everyone's taking control of me." That was, I think, the hook, but it's got a real smooth beginning. The one where Free Willy jumps over the kid's arm. It's got to be one of the most epic songs of all time. I'm sure it's won a Grammy, and if it didn't, can we retroactively give him a Grammy? Isn't the idea of campaigning for Michael Jackson to retroactively win a Grammy fucking hilarious? Anywho, we hear the song first. Then I see a greasy torso, I mean oily. This man's body looked like candle wax burning come to life. As I scan down his torso, I see those, I don't know what they call it, fuck lines. Ken has them, Ken the doll. They kind of lead the way, point the arrow to the dick. I see those, and I see the top of pubic hairs. This man's shorts were almost all the way down. And while looking at his greasy, oily body, seeing the top of his pubes and his fuck arrow lines, then I look up and finally notice his face. It was like the voice in my head said, "Hey, Rocky, his eyes are up there." But unfortunately, when I looked up to find his eyes, all I saw was a man in a clown mask. So this greasy, oily man with his almost dick out was wearing a clown mask and holding a boombox playing Michael Jackson, specifically the song from Free Willy. I don't know if that is the freedom we're fighting for, and if that man was harmless and just living his truest life, or if we were 100% in danger. But either way, get me out of Times Square. I wouldn't say we were too high, but I like to be high and enjoying the sights, not running from them. When we got down to the subway, our train was there, boom, right away. As soon as we walked on it, they told us, "This train is not going to your neighborhood, you dumb bitches. Get off." That's all right. Lucky for us, we were at a main hub. We could take another train halfway to our neighborhood. We're in great company. We're away from the clown guy. There's no one asking for a plunger in sight. And we run into another friend who's also waiting for this second train in our travels. and someone you want to run into, someone who's on your vibration and who's going to laugh with you all the way back to your homes. So we scooped him up and he joined our pack. And within 3 minutes, we were on that train and we were laughing on that train and we were making jokes on that train and we were happy to be together on that train. And we damn near forgot about the clown while we were on this train. And then the conversation takes a lull and we all kind of look around for a second. And what was supposed to be a 12-minute train ride, we all realized is turning into a 45-minute train ride. That's right. We were stuck in the tunnel for 30 minutes straight. 30 minutes straight. And we were so lost in conversation, we didn't even notice we were stuck for that long. Or maybe we were trying to ignore it because we didn't want it to be true. Nevertheless, we were stuck. Finally, we get some motion in the ocean, literally, because we were underground in the tunnel when we were stuck. And when that happens, I just seal my fate. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. We've all had to do that a lot lately on the New York City subway. But we made it. We made it out of the tunnel. We made it above ground. And we were waiting for our train. Now, normally, we'd wait on one platform. And it looked like we had a little bit of a wait before our train came. But like I said, the company was good. We're still buzzing from that fat J. And the laughs keep happening. Suddenly, a drunk guy comes up to us. Now, on first glance, yeah, he was a drunk guy. And at first glance, you might say this guy looks like he's probably fucking annoying. And at first glance, you might say, oh, this guy looks like an extra in Wolf of Wall Street. But the market has collapsed. He comes up to us and he says, hey guys, if you need this train, the train is actually coming downstairs. This is not of the norm. This happens sometimes when there's construction. We were all used to it. We started to make our way down. I wish there was a way to warn the other people without looking, nutty. So we just made our way downstairs and hoped to influence the strangers while simultaneously being grateful to a young Jordan Smellfort for advising us. Perhaps by warning us, he was just trying to clear some karma from the 2010 housing market collapse. Good on you, chap. We go downstairs. Our train arrives. But before that, we had to witness a child be arrested. And I say child because we watched a kid, or what looked like a kid. I mean, he looked so young, and I don't know what he did. But I watched 3 undercover cops rip him off the train violently and put him in cuffs. And we had to watch too because police be policing all the time. But it was very hard to watch. And he was so small. I'm like, one of you motherfuckers can't just grab him? We need 3 of you to do it? Again, I don't know what the kid did, but damn was it a violent rip off the train. Then our train came, finally. We got inside of it, only to be told, this train is going the other direction. By this point, you're probably thinking, order a car, guys. What are you doing? But when people live in different places and you're having a hang, sometimes it's hard to justify ordering a car. Whose house are we going to? What's the pickup spot? Who's putting it on their card? I mean, it's just a mess, especially when herbal and liquid refreshments are on the table. Well, then everybody get your own cab. Yes, of course. We could all do that, but then the hang is over, and we've already dedicated so much time to the subway. Is it so much to ask that it just works? We go back upstairs. We order an Uber. The Uber says it's not coming for 12 minutes. The subway says it's coming in 13 minutes. So we make the executive decision to cancel the car and take the subway and wait it out. At this point, we're laughing. Before the subway can come, we hear an announcement that the subway is actually coming from downstairs. So the one we were kicked off of had to walk back upstairs to catch the other is actually the one we want to be on. So we marched downstairs, we did, get on that train, only to, you guessed it, be kicked off again. We had to at this point make the executive decision to get off the platform. I mean, it was just getting overrun with people and it was getting so late and we were out of weed and no one had roadies. You would have done the same thing. We got in the car. We kept the laughs going. So in a lot of ways, we didn't lose time. We made some memories together. It was really fun. I'm not in charge of the city, but I'm pretty sure that is not a way to run a city's transportation system. That being said, I'd ride the subway with you guys anytime. I have one thing to say and one thing to say only before I say other things. Shout out to Dee. Dee, you know what you did, and I love you, and thank you. Just have to have it over the airwaves so it lives in our memories forever. I was very lucky this weekend. I got to go out of town and teach improv with Cypher Sounds in DC in a festival called Because We're Funny. It was so much fun, and everyone who took the workshop was so into it. Improv is a super vulnerable thing, especially for people who don't have an entertainment background or any kind of arts background. And everyone who took this class was willing to be vulnerable, was really funny, and really brought their A game. So I hope you all will continue your improv journey in whatever capacity works for you, because you've all got a little something. And it was a joy to watch you exercise it. It was also a joy to be in DC. I have been to DC over a handful of times now, and I have never ever stayed there for more than 24 hours. Now I feel like I can never stay there for more than 24 hours because that's just my relationship with DC, in and out. I kind of like it. We have this will they, won't they. I do love the way I'm treated in DC. I was at the most beautiful hotel, but I didn't book the room. So I didn't know, do I get part of this continental breakfast? Because this isn't looking like continental breakfast. This is looking like Nental breakfast, and Nental breakfast costs money. So I go up to the hotel desk person and I say, "Good morning. I just want to know, is breakfast included with my room?" "Unfortunately, miss, it's not included." "Oh, well, that's no problem. Would you be able to tell me how much breakfast is?" "Yes, it's $25. $25? Oh. Now, I walked past those eggs, and I walked past those potatoes, and I'll tell you right now, $12.50 at best. But I wasn't going to say that to my friend at the desk. And do you know what he did? When I said, "Oh, okay, thank you so much," he said, "It's $25, but I'm going to give it to you. Keep that between us." Unfortunately, sir, I have a podcast. I won't be able to keep that between us, but I will keep your identity a secret forever. And I want you to know, that guy who was screaming at you when I was walking out of the hotel, karma will take care of him. Because you didn't put those charges on his room, and you tried to tell him that, and you were just trying to help him. Hey, people who stay at hotels and people who interact with any kind of service worker anywhere, stop fucking yelling at them. I'm sorry your spouse left you. I'm sorry your partner's in someone else's DMs. I'm sorry your kids think you're annoying. I'm sorry your lover has a TikTok addiction. I'm sorry you hate your job. I'm sorry you got a thing that was supposed to clear up, but it's not clearing up, and the topical cream isn't working on you. I'm sorry you have vices, and I'm sorry life isn't treating you so well right now, because life not treating you so well is the only goddamn excuse I can imagine for you speaking to service workers the way you do. I have literally ended friendships with people for the way they spoke to service workers. It's disgusting. Be better. And if you witness it, stand up for them. For Christ's sake, what are we fucking doing screaming at the hotel clerk at 11 o'clock on a Sunday? A sunny Sunday at that. And if you fucking Karens, because Karens have an image, right? A middle-aged white woman with blonde hair, that's their poster child. But Karens come in all different shapes, sizes, genders, and shades. So if you know or love a Karen, fucking put them in line. Because if you don't, karma will. And that brings us to Rocky's highest thoughts, my most stoned thoughts of the week. Number 1, Tupac wasn't just on to something, he was on to everything. Number 2, if we can strike for more money, why can't we strike for more naps? Number 3, literally, if you can help someone, then Nike, baby, just do it. And number 4, there's a lot of rumors about NSYNC going on tour, and I, for one, hope it happens. I was recently listening to the song Tearing Up My Heart, and by listening to the song Tearing Up My Heart, I mean I was watching the music video for the NSYNC song Tearing Up My Heart, and one of the lines in the song is, "I am down on my knees." And the boys get down on their knees for that line and then rapidly get back up. If NSYNC goes on tour, it's inevitable that they'll sing Tearing Up My Heart. And if they sing Tearing Up My Heart, will they get down on their knees? If they do, so will I. So will I. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can follow me at Wild Nights with Rocky on TikTok and Instagram, at Wild Nights Pod on Twitter. You can subscribe to Wild Nights on YouTube, where you can watch extended interviews with past guests. If you like the show week after week, if I keep you laughing, if I keep you entertained, baby, you can support the show by joining my Patreon for $2 or $5 a month. A big thank you and a future thank you to everyone who's written and everyone who will write a review when this episode is over. It really does make a difference. Once again, it has been a joy to conclude another episode of Wild Nights. And until next week, stay wild, baby.
Is it?